Well, if you're a fan of Justin Bonnet's, these must be exciting times indeed. Last week, Tala dropped a new single, and this week, Justin Bonnet's comes at us with an hour-long solo project epic. Another concept album, but this time shrouded in mystery. It is not a continuation of Hungry Lights, however, a completely new project called Call It Ego. The album is called The New Elevator, and the only information given about the concept is that it is all in one character's POV except for The Good Team and Thinner, two songs on this. I also am noting that a lot of these terms in the song names appear to be baseball themed, and I think that is no mistake, as looking at the album art, there is a baseball field kind of depicted here, as well as a ball where the logo is shattering the glass. So I'm going to assume this is some sort of sports related thing. Whether or not sports is just the backdrop or part of the metaphor, I'm not too sure. The way this has been a very long intro for me, and I'm sure you guys are just waiting for me to hop on into it. So without further ado, my name is Sai, and this is The New Elevator by Call It Ego. Crickets. Pretty. Okay. Starting it off on a pretty note. Let me blast some volume up on this bitch. There we go. Ooh, very nice bass flourish there. Alright. Now, genre-wise, I'm not sure what we're getting into. It sounded pretty heavy, pretty Hungry Lightsy, but from the little teasers that I saw, but liking the different elements. Here we got a little rising horn here. Got some nice piano elements in there. A little bit of synth coming in here. Almost Tame Impala-ish synthing here. A low key start. Interesting voice change there. Some nice guitar licks here. Okay, we got some rap elements on here. Great majority of his projects have some rap element to some degree, but this is hitting more along the park of midsection Hungry Lights sound. It's so funny. I've only really been a huge fan of this guy for a year, but it kind of feels, I don't know, really nice hearing new music from him that's familiar like this. It's been many years since he's put something out like this, but I don't know. It's a weird feeling. It's a weird feeling. I feel like I don't deserve it as much as other fans have been waiting, but okay. As far as the concept goes, no clue yet. Trying to figure it out. I feel like I'm confirming my baseball things. He's talking about swinging, and visitation makes me think almost parenting. He's talking a lot about being a boy. I don't think it's jail visitation. I think it's just being a child and getting parents visiting it. Oh, that nasty little riff. All right. Oh, we're off to a good start. Nice little, soft little keyboard diddle. Still have a minute left, and the really nice bass sounds too. And as far as the guitar sound, the different elements and the way the riffs put themselves together, I used to equate it to Hungry Lights, but it's now becoming more of just a Justin Bonnet's thing. It's just his style of playing, his effects shades of the equipment, everything just reeks of his style here, and it is perfect. It's great. It's fitting along with the music excellently. Next song, Soot-Locker. It's like Foot Locker, Soot-Locker. Nice. I'm trying to figure out what some of these other items on this album art are. It looks like a wishing well and Not sure the thing toward the bottom is. Okay. Really interesting playing with synth work on these first 2 tracks here. Interesting, very wild ping pong delays here on the vocals, so you can kind of hearing it repeat here and there.
Where do I go from there?
Loving the sample work here. Okay, that glitching isn't just me. That's the song. What you doing? Off key chords, let's go. Okay, pop, let's go. Damn, went the fuck off. Okay, I'm still having issues pinning it on this concept. Maybe it'll become more clear in the future though. What's this next one called? The Good Team. Okay, this one's on a different character, so maybe this will add some outside perspective and take away some of the unreliable narrator stuff that I'm witnessing here. So far, it feels like there's a lot of his characters like to kind of rant at the world a little bit. I feel like Prill rants a lot, Prilly T rants a lot, Klingon rants a lot. All of his characters have a fucking chip on his shoulder a little bit, and that can lead to finding it hard to discern what he's just raging about and maybe not necessarily being truthful about, as opposed to what's actually happening in the narrative. Ooh, I'm not used to this super high tempo stuff from him. Let's go. Guitar work just popping on this one. Just shredding in that right channel. Okay, so this guy's like, it's like a mixture of giving him like a pep talk and trying to like really put his nose to the grinder, testing him, kind of like pumping up with a little bit of tough love mixed in. So I don't think this is an antagonist. Well, ain't that an interesting tone? Shit. Bring it back up. B or some shit. Jesus. Alright, I like that. That was a super, super different track for Justin Bonnet's work. Way more upbeat, almost punkish in nature. Just had a very wild, frenetic energy that I was just really fucking with. I'm still sticking to my guns that he's like trying out for like a team or something. Like the coach just put his axe to the grinder a little bit. I'm not entirely sure though. Again, these lyrics are fairly emotional and abstract. There's not a whole lot of, I am doing this. This is what I am doing. This is where I'm going and how I am doing things. Which I suppose was the point. The point was to make it a little bit foggy. Okay, frog. Frog as fuck. Messing with those timings. Very trippy. Okay, I'm seeing several instances of a call to action here. He's definitely announcing some sort of intent, you know what I mean? Like he's changing the way he's doing things. Still not sure what. trippy ass radio static, man. This moth about to get it though. Like, you chose death today, dude. You wrong motherfucking house. Ooh, bass. Great solo work on this album too. Tap the fuck out of it. So much playing with the radio static on these. Like, a lot of different elements of more natural sounds, like a radio static or lots of like chirping bugs a lot, like crickets and stuff like that. I really dug that super low-key jam session we just got towards the end there. Kind of almost an interlude in and of itself. Ooh. Bringing back those synth elements. Okay, there's a couple things I really like here. Again, really different drum elements, really different guitar elements are kind of familiar, but they're just like mixing up all these different percussion sounds, and as well as this really, really distant, kind of noisy synth that's pacing around behind me. It's like almost like a circling like ship, like a perimeter or something. It's gonna put really building up tension in this one. The longer this goes on, the less sure I am of my original theory on the story. The problem is it's obliterated a little bit, but I'm not sure what we're replacing it with. I feel like it's dystopian. I'm starting to get dystopian vibes from it. Believe it or not. Little thing mentioning like liberation. Hit those falsies. Oh, the Linkin Parky there. I'm digging it. You gonna break down? What the fuck was that? Jesus, man. When Justin goes off, he lays the smackdown on this record. My God, the fuck was that high pitched shit, man? That was insane. Modulating that chorus, okay. See, because now we're talking about like liberation and fighting, and I feel like he did some shit with his voice on that one. See, again, a lot of nature sounds intermingling with things like radio static. There's some moments where like they're speaking of freedom. I'm not sure if that's in the literal sense or in like the mental sense. This is, I think, another character switch. Ooh, very interesting. Okay. Well, this song exists. All kinds of twisty, demented. That is Fry? Like, I'm trying to figure that out. He's done that screen twice in this album now, and it's different. But I don't want to immediately commit to saying it's a Fry, because it sounds a little bit more meaty than that. I could be wrong. I was gonna get answers. I thought I was gonna get answers, and now I just have more questions. What? There's so much happening. It's getting to the point where there's so much happening that it's hard to even comment on some of it. Like, I'm trying to think of shit to say, and I'm just like, okay. And the question of a lot of this album is how literal everything is. Is this guy really just having car troubles and just having a complete fucking Sir. Are you okay? Do you need me to get somebody? Jesus fucking Christ, dude. Jesus fucking Christ, dude. Okay. Alright, is he having a meltdown because his car wouldn't start? Could he get help with it? Or is he having a meltdown because he is trying to push forward with something and he's just getting stuck on like one little problem and letting it consume his entire life? I don't know. We'll have to find out. There's a big well. That just does it right there. There is some literalness to the album art, some importance to everything else. I want to say, as far as the main character seems to be quarreling with somebody. This happens every single fucking time I want to say something. Quarreling with somebody directly, it seems, and I don't know if it's like a one-on-one thing or if he just got beef with a lot of people, but he's definitely had a major fallout with somebody, and I want to say it's a big theme of the whole album here. Let's say these are like really easy to digest songs so far. Like, I want to say he's really cleaned up his act of songwriting so far. A lot of my like pacing complaints about the Hungry Lights saga are not nearly as prevalent now, and I'm enjoying that. It's still long, but it's like it feels a little bit more streamlined and fluid as opposed to kind of like herky-jerky starts and stops. The fuck are these lyrics? God damn it, man. The fuck am I supposed to make out of this? Love that bass, man. He's really pushing that mega raspy scream, dude. Definitely experimenting with new techniques. The more I hear it, the more I am actually being convinced that is his bride. It gets like borderline throat singing down there, too. Hey, that's bars right there, alright. Hitting very Cockney British, just switching up accents on us. This is all one character though. I love these kind of chilled out sections with like the really prominent bass line and these really clean guitar licks in the corners. I'm taking too long to say things. Every time I fucking stop to say something, we're onto a new section. Shred. Ruthless. Like he's just popping so hard on this record. Alright, and we're just keep on moving and moving and moving. Ooh. Fuck yeah, I love these. Ooh, this is shaping up to be one of my favorite cuts on this. This is so good. This is the kind of rap I was a little bit disappointed didn't appear more of on Pearly T, honestly. I definitely like this like faster, more aggressive flow. Really pushing into the rhythm and the bars of it. And this chorus is undeniable. I don't really know him very well for hooks, you know what I mean? I don't think Justin's a very hooky songwriter, if that makes sense. But it catches on really nicely. Get that tempo back up. Fuck yeah, let's go. Ooh, combining those two screams, very effective right there. Interesting gear launch into so many falsettos too. Alright, that was definitely one of my favorite songs of this album for sure. I'm definitely getting more of like rebellion vibes here. Talk about like we can't lose forever and whatnot. It's so foggy. I'm thinking before I film the review, I'm gonna listen to this a couple more times and kind of really think about it because I don't know, something's not adding up in my brain.
I am a machine with a human face, all out to the lion's head.
And yet I'm still here like a bad fucking gambler trying to figure it out. Okay, again, we're going back to that parental vibe where, you know, earlier in the album he was talking about not being disappointing to his parents, and here again, I just want to make him father proud. So certain things I am gathering correctly, it seems, because they're repeating now in different phrasing.
Yeah, that's what I told myself, and I guess I lost track of the fish and I drowned. The safe is the truth. You want a basic hero.
You fucker. Just when I had abandoned the baseball thing, there's so much going back to it. Talk about pitching, talk about his team, talk about the family stuff from earlier. We're dropping out of this whole like dystopian rebellion vibe and going back into fucking baseball. What the God damn it. I have no idea what I'm reading. I think we're just gonna focus musically for the rest of the reaction part because I am so lost on this shit. And musically this shit is bussin'. Easily his most diverse work to date. Way better paced than his other work. Nice layering of the singing with just totally demented, radio distorted screams. Really like that bit with the kind of leading up guitar. It's almost like post-rocky kind of riff here. Oh, that mixing too. Okay, so far, man, this is shaping up to be a real good one. All right, this is the final song, yeah, the big pitch. Maybe it'll all just click in. No, there's a shitload of patois. It's not just gonna click it. Oh, Yankee. What's happening? Are we just fucking mixing up lyrics now? Or languages? Oh, the bass. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. All the elements are just like, there's the right mix of off-the-wall, aggressive, technical, and yet just pleasing to the ears overall, you know what I mean? Not like chew up their own ass. It's a really great mix. It's not like it's like completely cohesive. There's still an element of the chaos, clearly, but I just feel like it's packed in a much nicer way that made this hour go by in a way more digestible manner than other records. Ooh, that's a nice start to that solo. So what? Google Translate time. Fuck you. You will not beat me on this. Shredding. By the way, Google Translate didn't help at all. Emotional. Something bad has happened. Something is inadequate. It's not enough for him. You know, he thinks he can't push forward alone. So what are these lyrics? This part. I don't want this. The only thing that hits me is pain. I won't stop even if I dare. I can do it even if I do my best. I can't do it alone. This is something that everyone is sick of. I'd have to understand more about what was happening to really get it. Like, did he cheat? Maybe like during this whole game, did he like cheat to be the best and to prove everybody who is doubting him wrong? Is there like a little bit of that? Possibly. There might be a little bit. I might be. We gonna explore that. Really great elements here. Back to that fucking static. Unplug in your fucking amp while it's turned on. Okay. And that was the new elevator by Call It Eco. Let's talk about it. Alright, so approaching this, I want to say that I did go back and I listened to the whole album again, and I have thoughts. I listened to it with the frame of the theory that I formulated toward the end of the album, that this is indeed a story framed by baseball, and it culminates in untoward actions being taken in order to beat a rival team, and that is further cemented now that I've actually looked at it. If you want comparisons for this story, because I'm going to describe it in a way that may be a little bit hard to understand, direct comparisons are Black Swan, 8 Mile, Whiplash, all these movies that are kind of about struggling, I guess, would-be prodigies who maybe are not great at their craft or as good as others, and eventually through complete obsession break through those boundaries and reach their heights, oftentimes to bittersweet endings. Here again, very bittersweet because he appears to be cheating essentially. Now I don't know if he's doping up or if he is sabotaging the enemy team somehow, but he has done something he is not proud of in order to win. He calls it dirt cheap tricks, etc. And it is clearly something that he's not proud of, but he did it because he had to prove everybody who told him he couldn't make it wrong. He had to be a man and face his challenges head on. He had to beat the shit out of this team that embarrassed him in the first act, and that is how it starts. And I think this would have actually really been helpful for me if I had noticed that we started off in the baseball game, where he's playing the game and he butchers, he loses. So he embarrasses himself in front of, I believe, his father. A father who probably never believed in him to begin with, probably pushed him into the sport to begin with, but was always disappointed with him. You know, he never really gave him a sense of appreciation for being his son, and it's caused this sort of rift where he wants to prove him right, but he also resents him. So he wants to show him, no, I'm better than this dad, but also fuck you for not believing in me. And so there's these kind of two lines tearing him apart throughout this. And the middle section, I think, is a lot of allegories, him going through his life in between these two games, making his choices, reminiscing on his thoughts. And there's this story about the car, which I think is kind of like a cautionary tale being given to him. I still stand by that. The first POV switch is like a coach or something telling him, hey, you fucked up and you need to stop fucking up, dude. You played terrible out there. You need to turn around, man the fuck up, and do it again. And I think the second story is kind of like a cautionary tale where it's like, you know, this guy obsesses over one little thing and it breaks him down and it holds him back until the ceiling collapses in on him. And it's that sort of cautionary tale of obsession, which often pairs these kinds of stories. It pairs with Whiplash and The Black Swan, for example, where the protagonists become obsessed, and yeah, they eventually do win at what they're doing. They get what they want, but it comes at some sort of cost, whether it be mortal or just sort of hit to integrity, so to speak. And I think that's kind of where I'm at with the story. Now, let's get on to what makes this his best solo album, because this is his best solo album. At first, my first listen, I was like, I'm not sure this is going to overtake Three Gods and Me, but I think actually, ultimately, as far as a full wall-to-wall listen, there's a couple cuts on Three Gods and Me that I like better than any cuts on here, but as a whole project, this is his best work. This is his most diverse work. You know, his vocals are all over the place. He's pushing those really low, deep, rumbling drones that he's used to doing in Hungry Light's work. He's pushing these crazy falsettos and these weird, inhuman noises where he's starting to channel a little bit of Mike Patton or fucking Kyo energy, where he's just going absolutely batshit and making these sounds that aren't really traditional screams. They're just kind of like almost like goblin growls and like hissed, raspy shrieks, a la black metal. There's a lot of different experimentation here, more than he usually puts forth, and that's great to hear. I'd say even in Tala, he did not flex this hard. He flexes fucking hard on this record, and it is awesome to see. While Tala may be overall heavier due to the instrumentation and the overall themes, I think here, when he lays it down, he lays it fucking down hard, and it's really great to hear that he can also pull back and make these really clean, pleasing sections where there's all sorts of intricate production happening. The drum work is elaborate and filling. The bass is never left in the darkness. The bass is helping aid the entire project forward, and the guitar work around it is creating such great effects as well. There's just so many good things happening here that I think helps this culminate into such a breezy listen. The starts and stops are a little bit, they're still here. There's definitely still here, but they're a lot cleaner and a lot easier to manage. I will say some of the songs are not my favorite in the world. Like I said, I think overall, while this may be his best project, it is still not like a perfect album in my opinion. It is definitely by far his best. And I would say, so I'm making this quick little edit here, completely unshowered, unprepared, prepping to film the next set of videos after I'm done editing this, but here I stumble for like 3 minutes trying to just figure out what is missing, why this is not a 10 out of 10 album. And I slept on it a little bit, and I found a way to kind of put my thoughts and my hangups into words a little bit better, and it comes down to accessibility. Now, I try to separate my enjoyment of an album from the objective as you can be criticism of the album. And in this case, I think that accessibility is very important. I think that if you throw it into a crowd of people and a majority of those people wouldn't get it, except for the metalheads, prog heads, etc., it does say something to whether or not an album could be considered perfect. And I do believe that Justin's albums are incredibly daunting in this manner, in a way that Tala's music is not quite, up until Vanilla Paste, at least. The pacing of Tala music is way more accessible, way easier to get into the groove, especially with the way they combine the more straightforward nu metal aspects into it. But here, he leans so much into experimentation and to prog elements that it causes a sort of almost disconnect, and there's a certain lack of catchiness to it, which usually isn't bad on its own, which is why this album is still very, very highly rated, but it keeps me from saying it's like a universal generational record just because it's niche. There's niches to it, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like I said, it's just a separation from personal enjoyment. I still think this is his best work, and I don't expect him to change that. That's the most important part, is a Justin album without these elements wouldn't quite be a Justin album. So it's very important that these elements are there, that this crazy experimentation and this kind of back and forth almost insanity as far as genre bending and pacing goes remains intact, but that is what keeps it from getting, the score of the fucking 10 out of 10. Holy shit, everybody needs to go listen to this right now. It definitely deserves to be appreciated and loved in its niche. You're gonna see me talk about it again. I'm gonna be like, I don't know what's missing. That's what's missing. That's my one big hang up on Justin music, and I don't expect it to go away. I don't think that it should go away. I think these albums are perfectly fine as is, and I feel like even if they did try to somehow dumb it down or make it more accessible in the future, it would be a little bit less of a Justin album. So overall, that's my thoughts. Back to me. Again, fucking spectacular album. I can't wait for this to come out on Spotify so I can start favoriting some of these tracks and listening to them on loop, because god damn, dude, really pulled it out for this one. And I think my overall theories are correct, and if they are, it's a pretty good tale. I like how scaled back and a little bit less insane it is, because like I feel like he writes about insane characters a lot, and I don't think this character is insane. I think this character is frustrated, feels like he hasn't gotten his lot in life, and is going to take it by any means necessary, even if those means are not exactly the greatest means or the most filled with integrity, you know. So yeah, overall, feeling really, really positive about this one. I'm a little bit quiet because it's like 3 a.m. I'm feeling positive about this one. Devin, high 9 out of 10. I feel like cutting out some of the older elements and kind of keeping this experimentation throughout the whole thing would have definitely elevated it up to the top. And honestly, I'll be real with you, because I'm not a great musician. All right, and while I am a critic and I can say what I like and the things that I don't like, I can't tell you how it's going to be perfect. I couldn't tell you what would make this album perfect, but there is something holding it a little bit for me. But I couldn't tell you what that is, and I think that it's a good testament to just how good this album is. There's not some obvious glaring issue. There's just something I feel like it could just be a pinch there. It's almost there. That being said, that's by no means any low praise. Go fucking stream this album. It's over on Bandcamp. The link's down below. Like I said, sometime in November, it'll be open on Spotify and other sites, other streaming sites. I think iTunes, he said too. So yeah, definitely look forward to that. Other than that, we are going to see what he does with Tala and what he does in the future. But overall here, definitely enjoyed it. Oh, one last little quick note. Music on the turntables. Fucking cool effect. Loved the little turntable sections that went throughout this, as well as the different plays with synth. Now I'm done. Still 9 out of 10. Fucking high 9, like a 9 plus, like 9.8 or some shit. Other than that, thank you guys so much for watching, and take care. Oh, also, if you want, there's a link tree down below. I got Twitch streams that I host, as well as a Discord group, both of which you can use to request songs and get my reactions and reviews on them. I'm not telling you how to live your life though, so you know.